Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 176, and today we're going to be doing battle with Elise Nocturne Darius Spiders. And so, this is our first video of the 3.16 patch. The patch has been released yesterday for you, today for me. And one of the first things I like to do is run in and check out what the good aggro decks look like, especially as we are now on this short meta to where the Last Chance Gauntlet is going to start up here in 2 days, and then Seasonals will be a little over a week away. Those are the decks that are going to have the highest impact, and we need to get like a real quick feel if Pirates is still really good, or if the updates here to Elise Darius are something that could be pushed to the forefront. Do we have to worry about triple aggro lineups? Is something like Pirates, Elise, Annie, Jin going to be a realistic deck, since it should be extremely good against Nami Twisted Fate? Or are these decks all going to get kind of quashed by the likes of Daybreak, which is a deck that I don't think is very good, but has traditionally caused a lot of problems for decks, say, like Scouts. And now that the curve has been dropped a little bit with it, and it has a lot more of this, hey, check out all my big stats aspect to it, and now that it's also, I guess, fresh, it has some opportunities to not be good, but still get played a lot. And so got to kind of get a quick feel for how this goes. But in terms of this deck itself, there's a couple of big updates in terms of why I would want to perhaps switch back to Elise Darius. The first one is the inclusion of Nocturne. Nocturne just caught an update in the 3.6 patch. He now levels up both on Nightfall and Fearsome. And so the Spiders package has always had quite a few Fearsomes in it, between Elise, Precious Pet, and then the Arachnoid Horror, Frenzied Skitterer. All these bros have Fearsome. But, you know, with the times changing and the new things coming along, we could also potentially hit Fearsome with the Ionian Hookmaster if we pick up the Fearsome equipment off of her. And so that is kind of like piece number one. Let's give Nocturne a little bit of try out here, just in a not pure Fearsome's deck, but a mostly Fearsome's deck. The other one here is the update to Shrieking Spinner. This used to give +1 attack permanently. Now it gives +2 attack, but only for this round. And this it looks to be an extremely powerful ability. Giving out +8 or +10 or +12 attack is nothing to scoff at, especially when a lot of those attackers have Fearsome and are pretty tough to block. And so the Shrieking Spinner is kind of piece number 2 of this that we're looking to try out. And it is kind of nice that a lot of these cards have double synergies between these new updates, right? Between Nocturne and the Shrieking Spinner. Both the Precious Pet is a Fearsome Spider. The Arachnoid Horror is a Fearsome Spider. The Frenzied Skitterer is a Fearsome Spider. There is also, we're not playing it, but the Annie Spider, right? The 2-cost Fearsome stuns a unit, or if it's already stunned, it deals 2 damage to it. I tried it, didn't like it, but you know, if something like Daybreak is extremely popular, where they're playing heavily on curve, then smoking one of your opponent's units for the turn for 2 mana, while also getting a Fearsome attack that can be grown by the Shrieking Spinner, is some potential for interesting. And so it's tried, it's been here. I didn't like it, but that's a potential option for you. Last thing to call out here is our removal package. We just have a small one. Ravenous Flock tends to work well in these decks because we go very wide. We tend to find a value block that we can clean up with the Flock. 2 Vile Feast because it makes spiders. And then we have the 3 Nox and Fervors, 3 Decimate as the burn package. Decimate is nerfed down or nerfed up to 6 mana. However, that should be said. But I think it's still quite powerful and strong, and a potentially strong game ender here. And so that's the deck. That's what we'll be doing battle with today. You all know what we have to do first, though. We have to go and pay the pay-to-win price. And I didn't check throughout my practice games. I didn't actually remember if any of these were turned premium or not. We played a ton of these cards in Expedition, so I would say across the board we're probably pretty good. It looked like the only thing that wasn't premium here was Nocturne, and so we are set in that sense. I know I checked my skins, like I know what the important things in life are. And so they were okay. Oh my god, how do I play a game? Where is it at? Play games, get spiders. Here we go. Whew. It's tough. That was challenging right there. All right. Someone that didn't get the memo that Ripper's Bay is pure garbage. And so let's see how this goes. Let's see if we can get a quick shutdown here. Nice, reasonable early game start with the Saboteur and Elise. I did try out the Fearsome Dog. That is the 1-cost unit that night falls into Fearsome. It's a nice fallback if the play doesn't work in terms of like you need or just a turn 1 play, you can play it and it still has Nightfall for Nocturne, but at the end of the day, I felt like it was pretty weak. All right, on this board here, I need to be punching in damage, and so we could have gone for the trade on Saboteur into Sharkling, but if we just wait a turn and attack now, we get to deal a point of damage to opponent, and I'm more interested in that 1 point of damage coming through than preventing the 2 from them. All right. Traveling Cutthroat doing something. Not a card I expected to see today. We're not playing the Path of Champions, and so strikes me as a little odd. I'm just going to go ahead and take it down with the Ravenous Flock. I don't want to risk our Elise. We're about to get this really nice wide Spiders board next turn, and so we'll just take it down, leave our Elise safe. What a god, are we playing Limited? What the fuck is going on? What am I missing about all this stuff? All right, with this upcoming attack, the important thing to note is if you want to attack with your Elise on the left, that's going to generate the Spider. Then that Spider will get the boost from the Shrieking Spinner. If you do Shrieking Spinner left of Elise, the generated Spiderling is not going to get that damage boost. I guess that's one way to hit a Lurk. Look at how powerful these units are with the Ripper's Bay running around. Like it. Let's just say, let's do a thought exercise, right? Let's say Ripper's Bay costs 0 mana and opponent had it. Like, it would have been okay, right? He could have got it down, but would it have even been worth a card to have the Ripper's Bay running around for 0 mana, but at the cost of a card? You know. Usually when we make that noise, it indicates that does not sound particularly good. All right, you got the dude on top of your deck. I guess the hired gun does not win the combat here. And then let's just bank up this 3 mana. I could see an argument for playing Precious Pet, but I think we just want to drop our boy Darius. And then we can potentially Nox and Fervor this turn. It's probably going to be too small, but it's an option. And so probably just take this damage. I don't want to block and then him have like a Pale Cascade. So it seems like a safe place. So all right, everyone out there on Reddit that got hyped for Ripper's Bay, that should have been a good video for you to watch. What a dumb shit card. I don't know. Like, maybe there's a world to where you can make it useful if it costs 0 and starts in your hand or something at the beginning of the game, but I don't know. I don't know, man. My thing with it was it looks like that guy was playing like half of a Lurk deck, right? So let's say half of your deck already has Lurk, and then half of the remaining part is spells, right? So you have like a 75% chance that you're going to attack, and then just like either hit a card that already had Lurk, or hit a card that's just not relevant. And so like I'm just not really sold on the Ripper's Bay ever being particularly effective. And then adding the Lurk to those other units is kind of cute, but it doesn't feel like a real strong piece of damage. Now here, I'm not like really stoked about how this played out. We cycled away our Legion Rearguard, or our Legion Saboteur. Probably shouldn't have done that. I just kind of had in my head that like we're playing against Nora, and if we run into a Vile Feast, then we're going to get boned on this turn, right? As he has the Vile Feast for our unit and such. But he's not playing Shadow Isles. He's playing Bandle City Targon, and so we would have probably been safe there. With this, Oh, no. We fucked that up. We really needed to Nox and Fervor this Sparklefly, and we missed out on the opportunity to do it. That was bad. Whoops. Let's see if we can't recover, though. All right, so we picked up the Elise. She's She's gonna have to just be strong enough here, I think. She gives us like these advantages if we're able to get her to flip an opponent has this really wide board. So
I see the heavens aflame, gods burning in starfire.
oh my gosh, it's just big again. Fuck me. Oh my god, we've gotten so boned to this game because we waited until combat before we tried to hit the Sparklefly. I knew that we should be hitting this, but that was bad. This game's just done at this point. It's like I keep thinking to myself, it's like, how are we going to recover this? It's like, well, we can at least block and then Nox and Fervor to the face so the unit doesn't take combat damage, but I mean, we can't even get our we can't even get a blocker in front of the Sparklefly. I guess we can do it next turn like that, but this game would be a completely different story if we'd taken this thing down. Completely on me.
Home is just around the portal.
Okay, so I don't super like this Frenzied Skitterer here. I'm just like a little bit worried about... Oh god, we've been getting so outplayed this game. We should have just gone with the Decimate. Like, this is just mistake after mistake on this one. Okay, just go ahead and call it a lot of learning moments for you all. Oh, man. Alright, let's see what we can do here. Maybe the Shrieking Spinner will be redemption for us. Alright, now, the next downside with this is if he blocks our Shrieking Spinner with the Sparklefly, we can't just throw it at his face anymore. This has just been the most absolutely disastrous sequence of events. Looks like he's not going to go for that route, but definitely a lot of potential to just say, oh, cool. There's no way you can cancel this combat. Let's see if we just magically win the game on accident. Just win it on accident. Whoopsies. GG. Market a W for bust. That's how you get to be the best player in the world right there. If you're not familiar with the rankings on www.ftpbust.com, it currently ranks the #1 best player in the world as FTP Bust. And so, completely unbiased. If you read it somewhere else that's not true, that would be alternate facts or fake news. The actual truth is coming from ftpbust.com. So, you heard it here first, live and well. All right, up against Action Pantheon. I was a little worried about with this start. This is one of these decks where we really want to be spending that first 6 mana, or at worst, the first 5 of our 6 mana on units. As we mulliganed into double Nox and Fervor and a 3-drop, we don't really want to play on 3. I was a little worried about it, but the addition of the Arachnoid Horror helps a little bit. These Nox and Fervors tend to play out like we saw in that last game, where this is probably the last card you play in the game. But we'll see. Action can't block a Fearsome. I did the mathematics on that one. It's true. It holds up. It's not going to play the Skitterer here. He's never going to block any of these units with Action. Take that back. Maybe he will. It depends on the item that lands. Well, you should still be dying to pretty much everything. We can't hit with the Precious Pet now. Oh, he goes for can't block. That's a bold statement right there. I was like, how the fuck is he so big? How did he get 4 health? Oh, he can't block. Okay. What would you pass on there? Like, I guess Pot of Pain would have been the one that he wanted. Huh. I don't know, man. All right, well, what do we got here? Here's a pot of pain for us if we want it. I guess the card that we would worry about coming out of action is just going to be a grappling hook, and that's going to kill all of our units anyways. And so I think I probably want to go with the pot of pain, so at least if he blocks our dude, we can deal a point of damage. There's a pretty good chance our Hookmaster is going to be the only blockable unit that we have. he says, fuck that noise, I want to block. Gotcha. There's a grappling hook. Let's go ahead and get this action off of the board. Maybe we should have sent that to face, but man, that action's gonna be trouble if he just gets to sit around. Playable dude is good. I think the seeing opponent draw cards there is pretty good for us. Like, my worry and concern on this board would be that he puts down the 5/2 and then just plays another card. Because he's got like 8 cards in hand. Like, the card draw shouldn't be that relevant for him. It's just if we don't kill him in like either this attack or the next attack, then we're just never going to do it. He's just going to have way too many cards to shut us down. And so seeing him actually draw the cards, I don't know if we should feel good or feel bad about that. I'm leaning towards feel good about it. But we'll see. We're coming in for 7. Got 3 in hand. Need to come up with a 5 more damage here. Say, and Darius. That's the typical way to do it. Oh, Zolani, cool. We can beat that. 6 mana decimate, y'all feel it? Alright, let's see if we got there. Nox and Fervor doing the Lord's work today. Oh, just another decimate? That's the fun way to do it. It's not a guaranteed kill, right? Since we can get hit with like a Rite of Negation or something, but I think it's probably the one we'll go for here. I like our opportunities to still potentially kill him at fast speed next turn. Let's see what happens. Let's see if he spends any of that mana. There we go. Boom him. He says, fuck, Decimate's not supposed to be in the format anymore. It costs 6 mana now. But now, granted, that was a spot to where the increased cost to Decimate was relevant, right? If we wanted to Decimate plus Nox and Fervor, we were 1 mana short. And if you do some mathematics, that 1 mana was the relevant part there. And so it would have felt much better that turn if we could have Nox and Fervored in the middle of combat, got opponent to maybe spend some mana, and then just played the Nox and played the Decimate afterwards, or just wait and do it all afterwards, however we wanted to do it. Not entirely sure which is better, but we had some options that with the nerf we just didn't have access to. All right. Tokens. I don't feel like this deck had any edits in regards to the new thing. The Shurima stuff, I did see a lot of uproar in the Twitterverse that there were changes to Zerath and there were changes to the Sarcophagus in terms of Shurima cards. In that it used to be if you destroyed, say, opponent puts a landmark on the board, say opponent has their Sarcophagus on the board, if we destroyed it with, say, a Scorched Earth, then the opponent still got the unit. Now they read that it's when you destroy instead of when this is destroyed, something along those lines of being really close to where now it actually cares if your opponent destroyed it or not. Kind of a stealth nerf to those cards, if you will. But I don't play enough of those dumb decks to know how to know how relevant it was. All right, this seems good. We blanked him with the Arachnoid Horror. He had to play his 1 mana Rite of Calling now. I guess that's a place where you can say that things have changed. Rite of Calling costing 1 mana now.
No one's the wiser.
Alright, and then we're going to drop this Elise. There's a chance we can get out of this turn with the spiders. Not a very high chance, though. He has the free blocks onto the 1/1. But he might be in the mode to where he just wants to prevent all this damage. I guess he can't block our other spiders anyways. That's another way to look at it. We're about to boom him. Do we set this up in a way that allows us to actually flip a Nocturne? It's like I don't even want Nocturne next turn. I want to be able to just play the Frenzied Skitterer, set up these blocks however I want, and go in. Like, opponent's too far away from lethaling us this turn, right? He's got 4 summons and 0 attacks. Okay. You do you, bro. You do you. You got a duet? Sure. Block with our weak one here. If he wants to play a Shaped Stone to take down our House Spider, I feel like that's a win. When he attacks with a Zir, he has to have the Shaped Stone, right? That's quite the bold move. But we still have a lot of potential on the follow-up turn, dropping Nocturne and then using him as the means to shrink our opponent's units. Might be able to do something there, but I suspect we're just going to kill him with Fearsomes right now. Is it actually just better with the Shrieking Spinner? My worry with playing the Shrieking Spinner is that if he plays a Defiant Dance, then we completely lose out. But if we play the Frenzied Skitterer, we at least get these bonuses, right? Like, just Irelia can't block anymore. All of our spiders are now big, and it's not, right, if the Defiant Dance comes in and now bounces Elise, that sucks. But if it bounces the Frenzied Skitterer, right, it's not nearly as bad as the Shrieking Spinner coming back. Surprised he didn't bounce our Elise. That feels like a mistake. I think he read into that a little bit too far, because right then all of our units would lose Fearsome. There is an argument to take the Irelia and put it in front of the Spiderling. Maybe that's what we should have done. Now he gets to block Elise. We're still lethal, but would have probably been a little safer. All right. Good job, spiders. Yorick is Bay. Nice. I'm not sure who Yorick is. I know that he's a League of Legends character, but he hasn't been in Teamfight Tactics since I played it, and so he's one of the newer guys that I don't know about. Is he the one? Bard's the one that makes the portals, right? I don't know what Yorick does. Anywho, here I'm really looking for a 1-drop. We want to have a 1-drop every turn of the game, but it's kind of a disaster if we full mulligan and don't find any 2s. Like, it's one of those things where I'm not entirely sure how I feel. Like, if we just pick up a rando 2 in the mix, we're like, if we do a full mulligan, we're probably going to find a 1 or a 2. It's like a really low chance that we don't find any 1s or any 2s. Like, that might just be the expeditioner in me worrying about this a little bit too much, not being able to get that style out of my head. Because it was reasonable and frequent where that would happen in Expedition, to where you mulligan away your 2 because you have a ton of units and then nothing comes back. But play constructed, I mean, we have 9 1s, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 2s. What's 9 plus 11? 20? That's like half our deck. Oh god, I'm out here doing mathematics on you all. This is kind of an interesting spot. I want to get this like full powered Frenzied Skitterer next turn. Like, I'm not super worried about these Vistayan Disciples bouncing back and forth, but this would be a spot to where we can Vile Feast one of them, which seems okay. We're just going to have the full board next turn anyways. Like, if we play a House Spider, it's just going to get overwritten. And if he played some kind of combat trick to save his unit there, great. You know, I don't care. I don't care about you spending your mana like that. So, him playing Shimon Winds over and over again is not going to be a game-winning strategy against spiders. Alright, Boo, watch my board grow. Give me some stats. See if he drops that sweet Yasuo on us. Sentry was pretty good. I'm surprised he sentried the 3-2. You typically would say want to sentry the Precious Pet and then block the 3-2. But however you want to do, it's okay with me. Right now the Shimon Wind comes down, probably blocks a 2-1. I don't know if you can make value blocks at this point. Opponent's going for it, but interesting. Now he just, right, see, this is what I'm talking about. You would prefer to be killing off the, you prefer to be killing off the Frenzied Skitterer as opposed to that House Spider that he just killed.
I go where the road takes me.
Alright, let's put some dudes on the board. Gonna look for an open attack next turn and not so much play the Frenzied Skitterer. Just feels a little safer. I don't know, like, now that he has Yasuo on the board, it does open him up to playing something like Steel Tempest. Maybe it is a little bit safer to just wait.
What could you ever teach me?
Right, if we attack with the board as it currently is, and we only get to deal like 3 damage, it's not gonna feel good. We've only attacked with 1 Fearsome? Is that really right? There's no way that's right. You've attacked with 5+ Nightfall or Fearsome allies. Last turn we attacked with 2 or 3. What the fuck, Nocturne? What am I missing with this guy? Why does anyone ever want to play it? Why are you the way that you are?
I have my orders.
Alright, I got another dude to put on the board. Concussive Palm would be a little bit unfortunate since he could now come in and block with it, but... Oh my god, come on, cat. Come on. Yeah. Oh, he just walks away. I have, like, so many scratches on my leg now from where this dumb shit cat comes up and digs his claws into my leg, thinks about jumping up here, and then you say, hey, buddy, come on, jump on up. And then he just, like, walks around to the other side of the chair. Oh, my God. Oh, that was uncomfortable, wasn't it, buddy? Oh. All right, there's another dead unit. Can we get in for... He's only got 2 mana left now.
No one is promised tomorrow.
So if we play the House Spider... He's got 4 blockers, but he can't block our Fearsomes. Well, he can block 2 of our Fearsomes, right? So we should only be getting in for 5 damage this turn. But I still feel really good clearing out this board. We should have a pretty full board for the next turn. And then who the fuck knows what Nocturne's actually going to do, but he's going to try and do something, I guess. Did we really only attack with 1 Fearsome last turn? That's so weird to me. Guess so. The game wouldn't lie. Oh, that was a disaster of a draw in the Shrieking Spinner. It's like literally anything but Shrieking Spinner and Decimate. Well, Decimate would have been fine because it would just win us the game, but... not having the multiple units on the board now is really, really painful. Right? We would just do pretty much anything to add 2 units to the board at this point.
A little puncture and a lot of pain.
Oh my god, are we gonna lose a game to a Yasuo deck? This is depressing. This is downright depressing. Come on, deck, you gotta provide us with the means to get out of this. Maybe. That's all we can say. Maybe that'll be enough. Why aren't you flipped? This is so weird to me. Alright. Whatever.
Let the bloodshed begin.
Concussive Palm. He should have put the Blade's Edge on the stack. Oh, well, it gives him a blocker. I guess it doesn't matter as much. Okay. Bummer.
It's just an
Oh, Jesus, he messed... Oh, he just drew this other Yasuo off of the Hillock. Okay, that would have been a pretty tough turn. Like, we could have maybe got it if we just didn't draw Nocturne on the last turn, but it would have been tough. Would have been tough. Oh, we can... I want to drop the concession, but we can still draw Decimate.
10 times run. Fish meat face.
Oh, he'll get it with the rally. Okay, GG. So that's tough. I feel like that's a game where on that last turn where we drew that Nocturne or we drew the Skitterer, whatever it was, if we had drawn literally any other card in our deck except Darius or a 4-cost unit, we would have won the game there. So it feels like that was a pretty good spot. We just didn't get to take down that last few points of damage there at the end. Bummer, dude. What a bummer. Okay, there's a nice 1-drop. Let's get into battle. Drinking my beverage here. I feel like I mentioned this in a Path to Champions video that I didn't actually put to
one's the wiser.
put up on the YouTube. I accidentally put a cup full of hot water and then put my energy drink mix in it. Right? 'Cause I used to drink like a shitload of Red Bull every day. I would drink like my morning routine to go to work was you go to the gas station, you would buy a 20-ounce of Red Bull and 2 packs of cigarettes. I smoked I smoked a pack and a half of cigarettes every day, and then I drank that giant ass Red Bull. It's a pretty healthy thing, right, to smoke a pack and a half of cigarettes, but also financially, if you're spending like $5 on a Red Bull and like $12 on a pack of cigarettes every day. that's a pretty sound financial investment right there. But I said that this is too much money into Red Bull, and so I switched to drinking those like Mio energies, like the little tubs of energy water, and from that my problem was like I would take the bottle of water and then I would put like half of a bottle of the energy stuff in it and just drink way too much of it. And so my solution to that was to get like the little Crystal Light energy packets, and those are much more like manageable. I'm not gonna pour like 6 of those into a cup and start drinking it, and so I feel like pretty reasonable drinking those now. But I had this nice little bit in the Path to Champions video where I had accidentally put a bunch of hot water in my cup, like I was doing dishes, and then as soon as the dishes were done, I loaded them up, or I loaded up my cup with energy water, and it was all warm and it was kind of fucking nasty. But that's how people drink tea, right? and the thing with tea is it's just fucking terrible. I get that it's like boiling hot water or what. I don't know how you all do it. Tea, it just tastes so bad. But I figured I would really upset the European contingent by by saying that tea is bad and talking trash about tea. It's a real fast way to get your European followers to not follow you anymore. So I hope you're still here. But what are we going to do with this one? I don't feel super comfortable trying to get a Darius win, but I don't feel like we have any other options. And so we're going to add the big guy to the board. We're going to try and get a kill off of this open attack next turn. I can't tell if he's just like being clever with the Phantom Butler, or if he just doesn't have anything else to do. I'm not sure what the angle is leading with the Butler, but I don't feel like we can pass. If we just roll into our next turn with a spinner against a Butler, that feels like a quick way to just get smoked by Katarina. And so this seems okay. You can't attack with her, right? She has to be ready to block. Interesting. I thought this would lead to being a Blade or a Ravenous Flock, but you can't Blade's Edge Ravenous Flock Darius. All right, squad. Still have 6 mana after this. See what Darius does that Nocturne doesn't? It's called win games. It's called win games. That's what Darius does that Nocturne doesn't. Fucking A, man. I'm even curious if I wouldn't... Like, I really like Darius here, but I'm curious if we wouldn't prefer to have that that Ruined Reckoner. It's like, I like having a little taste of value in here. That's why we have that Glimpse from Beyond running in this deck, but I'm curious if Ruined Reckoner isn't the way to just go about it, to ace one of our opponent's blockers. It doesn't, like, combo with Fearsome, right? If you're making their weakest blocker can't block, that doesn't slow down their ability to block our Fearsome units, but... just shutting down that unit altogether is good. Maybe we get to punch in an extra unit for damage. Like, I like a way a lot of those turns play out. I'm kind of leaning towards, like, well, what if we start taking out Glimpse from Beyonds and Nocturnes, and then we cut a Nocturne into a Darius and then play 2 of that guy? Like, that sounds kind of exciting to me. This is the odd spot. I don't think Darkness plays 1-drops, and so we're kind of safe to add the Legion Rearguard. They do play like Pokey Sticks, and so our 1 health units are at risk, but I'm curious if he's going to say, like, play Vile Feast, if he's going to play Pokey Stick. You can even see Go Hard come out of these decks. But up against the Vile Feast, we want to have this double Precious Pet opener. So this seems reasonable. Get some damages in. Just with that sequence, you don't want to get 2 of your units blown up by a their removal spells.
No one's the wiser.
Okay. All right, let's fuck them up.
You won't get past me.
Give me your belly's creatures of doom.
Combat. I'm ready. I see that this guy's name's Cheeser Dude. I've been following a little bit of the chess drama with Magnus Carlsen, and I don't have any more comments on the chess drama itself, but in reading some of the comments on one of the newer threads I saw this video on, like, 60 Minutes or one of these American nightly news shows, to where, I guess, like, Magnus Carlsen, I don't know how old he was. He looked like he was in, like, maybe in puberty. Like, he definitely wasn't an adult. He didn't look like he was, like, 18. He would have been, like, I don't know, like 13 to 16 or so. And he was he was playing against 10 people at once with his back turned to all of the boards. And I was like, are you fucking serious? Like, what a nutter. Like, that is just, like, I can't imagine being able to play a single game of Runeterra with my back turned to the screen and then someone just telling me what cards I draw each turn. But to fucking manage, like, even manage, like, 10 moves into a game of chess, manage, like, 5 moves into a game of chess, like, that all sounds completely nutty to me. And that that dude just out here being like 10 games, just fucking memorized and winning all of them is one of the most absurd things I've ever seen. Like, I had no idea how, like, next level he is at the game of chess. It's fucking wild. But all right, we're going to try and see if we can't get a win here. I was hoping that he would play this darkness a little bit earlier so we would know if we had the full board, but right, we're kind of hoping he darknesses, say, like a Frenzied Skitterer, and then we get the extra unit out of the Elise. It's not going to happen, it looks like. We're going to lose a unit. We're going to punch in for 8. Then we just have to come up with a way to get that last 2 damage. Nox and Fervor, Decimate, whatever. Oh. Does he ever block the Elise? Because she doesn't deal that much damage. I don't think he blocks the Elise, but I don't want the Spiderling either. Well, I guess he can play the Darkness in the middle of combat, right? That makes sense. I expect it to happen on the 3/3 power units, though. Okay. Take him to 3. What are you at, Nocturne? Are you flipped yet? We gave you some more fearsomes like the Ionian Hookmaster. Fucking dum-dum. This game's probably done. If we don't pick up the burn spell, probably lost this one. But, you know, we're close to the end here. We're close to the edge. Maybe we'll draw something cool. Get him with that Decimate everybody's talking about. Or even something like Vile Feast gets us kind of close. This is not the spot I want to be drawing Vile Feast, don't get me wrong, but... Ew. That's not good. We're dead now. Alright. GG. I guess we could have stuck that one out to see if we draw Decimate the next turn, but... Essentially dead. Can't let our win rate get too high. Everybody will steal our technology and use it against us, and so. Okay, no 1-drops. A little bit unfortunate against Poppy Tarek. I'm just gonna full mulligan except for the Elise. See if we can't pick up a 1. We did. It's like the professionals that we are. The final battle here has to be a good one against Poppy Tarek, so.
Won't get past me.
All right, rear guard in, Elise down. This is the highest amount of damage we can do in the early game, and so the way I always describe these decks is, you know, there's a lot of decision making, like especially against Darkness, in which unit do we want to lead out with, what do we want to play in the first couple of turns, because if you fuck it up, you're going to miss out on multiple points of damage. But if you don't know what to do, just pick the one that does the most damage. And so you typically want to, like, say, lead with Legion rear guards if you can, and then you don't have to worry about, like, whoa, what if my opponent has a way to interact with it properly. Just pick the one that does the most damage. All right, I don't think we want the upcycled Rake. We'll just take the Pan of Pain. We don't have a lot of opportunities to get these big damages in with our. Right, it would be cool to put the Pan of Pain onto Darius, but that's the only, like, big unit that we have that could potentially get some value out of it. Very real chance he doesn't have a follow-up unit here, so we want to take the Ravenous Flock. Even if he does have the follow-up unit, we might be able to get a takedown on this thing. He still dies here. He's fucked this up. If you're not familiar with this play, you just have to have the damaged unit when you're targeting, And then if he heals it, it still takes the damage. So watch this. Are you ready to watch this? Oh, was I wrong? I had that happen earlier. How was that situation different earlier? Guess I'm the wrong one here. I swore I had that come up, though. Maybe the guy didn't fully heal earlier outside of the range, and his unit was still damaged. I thought it went in. That's what you get for listening to FTP Bust.
I'll close my eyes, make it fair.
Ooh, I like this. I would definitely like to
No mercy for headed
put the Pan of Pain over on a different unit. Well, I guess he can't block our Arachnoid Horror is the problem opponent's having right now. He's shifted to taking less damage, but throwing the Pan of Pain back into our hand. Need to come up with some damage here. Both Poppy and Tarek would be pretty scary. I wouldn't feel good about seeing him. Plays Bird. Do we ever want to put the Pan onto our little Spiderling? Right? I don't think it's worthwhile. Right? The problem's going to be is he's going to have like a million challengers this round. And we need to just protect our actual good unit. So it's like no matter what happens, he's going to be able to hook down the Spiderling. But we can now protect the Horror with the Pan of Pain. He can go big on the Protege and fight for a trade. I'm actually okay with that. So, for next turn, if we're going to be thinking in terms of getting maximum damage in, that would be putting the Pan of Pain onto the Precious Pet and hitting for 4. Right? If we're thinking in terms of value, we would want to Vile Feast the Petricite Broadwing, protect our little spider, follow up with the Precious Pet. Maybe we're still okay with that kind of line. Like, if we need to draw one of our, like, more expensive value-y cards next turn. It's like, the thing that you would want to consider is if we're able to take him to 4. Right? This attack with the Precious Pet plus the Pan of Pain is only going to take him to 5. So I think we need to do a little bit more work here. Oh my god, the cat came back. Oh, come on, dude. Come on. Come on. Oh my gosh. Whew. He's so fat. It's like, I'm sorry, cat, but it's true. You are hefty. We had to start getting him weight loss food because he was too heavy. I know you're sensitive about your weight, buddy. We call you muscular. Poor guy. Poor guy. See how this goes. I was interested here in protecting our Elise. We still get to punch in a little bit of damage with the Tarek Survival, but I was hoping that Elise would just bounce off of Tarek and not die. I wasn't expecting to get a kill. I was hoping that she just didn't die, which wasn't the outcome, but getting close. We might be able to finish this one off. Looking a little bit more challenging to do. Just a little bit more. You just can't block any of this. Fall to 2. Should have done the mathematics on how much damage that was, but I figured it was going to be enough. And then I think we just need to play the Decimate now. We're going to have to just draw Burn. So let's go ahead and kick it off. We won't have the mana next turn to double Decimate, so got to look for it.
I know what lurks in the shadows.
Got a rally. Looks like a rally. It's a little bit too short. Okay, GG. And so, not a bad set of games. Not a bad set of games with what we have as a fairly untuned deck. The things that I would have to say about this list is it seems legitimate, right? This seems like a pretty reasonable deck to be coming in and doing battle with. This was historically the deck that you played when you just got your account. Since most of the cards were included, I think you got Elise for having a new account, and so people played a lot of it there. But it is a very legitimate deck. So the things I liked with this, the Shrieking Spinner was quite good. I was very happy to have the Shrieking Spinner almost every single game. That was nice. The things I did not like here were Nocturne. He was just never wanted it. It was like he was worse than the Spinner every time. How he didn't even managed to be flipped whenever we drew him, I don't fucking know. But he was not flipped frequently enough. He needed to be flipped as soon as we played him, and he just didn't have that in any of the games. And so the way that I would look to start changing this up would be to take out the 2 copies of Nocturne, take out the 1 copy of Glimpse Beyond. I definitely would like to add in 2 copies of that, that thing? 2 copies of that Overwhelm unit that make units so they can't block. And then look to perhaps add something like Brothers Bond as a nice way to chunk in damage. Brothers Bond allowing you to, say, like, win a combat and chunk in 2 damage or hit for 4 damage, whatever. Just have that, like, little bit of extra burn reach with something like it. The last spot to kind of look is I was like happy with the 1-drops. I'm happy with the House Spider and the Frenzied Skitterer Shrieking Spinner. I'm not entirely certain on this combo of the Arachnoid Horror Ionian Hookmaster. The Hookmaster does have some kind of values, right? Being able to hit Fearsome on the weapon and then being able to play the weapon a little bit later. But I kind of feel like we should be playing 3 Horrors and then maybe 2 Hookmasters. Or I could even see cutting it out completely. But if we're not going to be counting on, like, the Nocturne package, and then if we're going to be getting a little bit of value out of those overwhelm things with Last Breath, God, I can't remember what it's called, then we have the potential to just move these out for things that are a little bit on synergy. But not a bad set of games. I was very happy with our initial impression of this. Is it better than Pirates? I don't know. I doubt it. But the other thing to kind of say in terms of Pirates is you should not count it out. Decimate is still a very real card. If we want to look at a lot of the games we played today, there's definitely a big difference in a 4 damage and a 3 damage Riptide Sermon. But Pirates is definitely going to be alive and well. And so I think it's worth getting inside your brain piece that the nerf to Riptide Sermon and Decimate was not enough to take Pirates out of the meta. And so that's going to do it. I had fun with this. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. And so I hope everyone enjoyed the video. I hope the spiders were just a little fearsome, not too fearsome. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.